what's your take? Because I know that you deal with children in the worst situation of suicide. I think they've had to have tried to commit suicide multiple times to be in your clinic. And you have one of, if not the greatest success rate in healing that situation. What did you observe about this story?
Before I answer that question, I just want to say that, the truth is all around us. But the thing is that we're often asleep. We live our lives sleeping, but the truth is all around. That was one of the most powerful manifestations of the truth that you will ever come across. So I just want you to savor this manifestation of the truth. The irony is it's always there. So if you open your eyes and you wake up, you'll see it everywhere in each other. Now, when Ryan called me, and so this year, the suicide rate is sadly going up around the world. I'm speaking in 10 different countries. I'm going to Paraguay soon. But when Ryan called me, I thought, okay, here's another chance to do something. But then I thought, how does this guy who's not a clinician speak my language? And I felt incredible connectedness. And there's only one point of disagreement that he and I have, and that is that I've offered you a job when you get out of, I'm going to take it a step further. And I think medical school, because I've got a natural replacement right here, what do you think? It's just, we can discuss this later.
Joel and I both disagree, but again.
So just a couple of things that I wanted to say in terms of the discussion. I thought that there was something extremely important that was said. We focus so much on self-esteem in this country. It is a false concept. Because people say, oh, this person has better self-esteem than I do. What are you going to do? Usain Bolt's faster than I am. You'll never catch up. Infinitely more important, the concept of self-worth. Because no one can have better self-worth than you have. Because they're not you. You can only have your own best self-worth. This idea of self-worth, not self-esteem. Because otherwise somebody's always going to have it. So I thought that was a very, very important point. The other thing is, look, I prescribe medications as seldom as I can, to be honest. But the connection that existed here was fundamentally healing. I don't think it had anything to do with the videos, but that someone would care that much that they would go and do all of that and then bring it in, the effort that it took. Now, then something very interesting thing happens. Then you realize something. But here's the thing is, that realization always existed. What is not in us cannot be in us. In other words, I cannot suddenly start speaking Russian. It's not in me to have. That realization could not have arisen from nothing. It was always there. For me, one of the most beautiful things that happens with a lot of the kids that we treat, we've had 2,000 extremely suicidal kids come through our program, is when they realize wisely that they have a choice in choosing truth, in choosing intention, in choosing love. By the way, and this is not this superficial love. It's a love that transcends the definition of the word. It is much bigger than that. It's much more of a feeling. Actually, love denigrates the experience of it because we use this word. So, and that it persisted. And then once you love, and then you can. The other thing is, see, if you hate your father, or you hate your mother, or you hate your friend, then you are hating of yourself as well, because they are of us and we are of them. So that once you start loving them, you love yourself too. So I thought that was an extremely important point. Well, I took some other notes. Now, here's the other thing is, mindfulness isn't perfect. People say, oh, mindfulness, and everybody goes to these retreats and they come back and they carry on doing the shit that they've done all their lives. Because we're creatures of mindless repetition. But here's the thing is, what's the alternative? If you're not living presently, where are you living? And if you're not living presently, you're always going to regret not having lived presently. So if you're living presently, you can't regret it. People say they don't like reality. I have to tell you, whether you like reality or not like reality, it doesn't change reality. Reality exists the way it is, whether you like it or not. And I think that in this situation, here's a very toxic, and I'm putting that in quotation marks with a bit of a judgment, relationship, and say, I'm accepting this. Everything in the universe is caused. The other thing that I thought was so incredible was the loss of judgment of the Father, because he too is caused by his conditions. And what caused him? His causes. And what caused him? His causes. You want to blame something? Blame the Big Bang, because that caused everything. You know, we keep chasing, oh, well, if I could just find that one moment in time. But that moment in time was caused as well by its conditions. So when I think about what they're doing, and I think about the stuff that we do, there is connectedness. This is Harvard stuff, you know. You have to be a genius. So brilliant. There is love, but it's not, look, you know, people have learning disabilities and other things that you have to overcome. So you have to also teach skills. You know, and we teach wellness skills, but we get away from pathologizing normal human experiences. You know, you have something, and now the DSM has a condition for that. I've got a not drinking enough beer condition. Oh, well, you know, we'll charge you lots of money and give you some beer or something. But we're pathologizing human experience, saying that that is wrong. But that gets us to this point in time. So actually, there's tremendous synergies. What they're doing is backed by science, which is really incredible. And it's also backed by thousands of years of human evolution. When you live in a connected world. But that's what we've done. Humanity has survived, and we're doing a terrible job of it right now. We've got to start, you know, healing the planet again. But you know, there's nothing fundamentally new in any of this. It's just going back to some very important basics.